It's a very good morning. It's 6 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. This is Kusile Breakfast Show. We have entered the month of October. It is the 1st of October. It's a very good morning. We are waking up with 9 degrees Celsius here in Babane. Mguni, how are you this morning?
I'm cold.
It's
I
very
won't lie
cold.
to you. It's very, very cold morning in Babane, and I know it's the very same temperatures in Hlangano. Peak 2, I believe. Just how our climatic conditions are set up in Eswatini, but we are still hoping for a warmer day later on. We are expecting to see some important projects happening in the country. The King set to commission or open officially the Gegesi-Kunusa road, a road. If you have driven on that road, you want to attest to how beautiful it is and just how smooth it is. So we also do want to perhaps take time to credit Ministry of Public Works and Transport. Lulu sitawukhumbula ukuthi nakuvulwa yona iParliament tindzaba temigwaqo letinye letavela kusoka speech sengonyama ase opening of the 12th Parliament ekuthenini imigwaqo yethu kufuna ibe ngilehambekako lemihle kakhulu, particularly also because our roads are used for trade now, and you do want to acknowledge ukuthi the Gegesi-Kunusa road also takes you to one of our border gates, so it becomes very critical ukuthi we sisahamba kulama trade routes ethu kube bede tihibele tikhona, and that speaks to even our overall economy. Ultimately, it's a beautiful day, hoping for a lot of good things happening today as we enter the month of October, and certainly the second last month of the third last month of the year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Seeing as it is the 1st of October, umhlaba wonke kuba National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. That is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Sisebenzisa nje lenyanga lena kwatisa noma ke kwenzisa lwati ngamdlavuza wemabele. The Ministry of Health Cancer Unit has recorded 577 cases of cancer between January 2023 and June 2023, and 33 of those are cancers of the breast. In 2022, the ministry established an oncology unit in Manzini through support from the BMSF. This came as a relief to cancer patients in Eswatini as services became available in the country. This also enabled patients to receive not only medical support but also support from their family members. The establishment of the units has also eased the burden on the Mbabane Government Hospital, which was the only center in the country that provided chemotherapy services, and reduced the referral to neighboring countries such as South Africa. We'll be joined by the program manager, cancer unit, epidemiologist, cancer epidemiologist Kusile kuva kabantu ukuthi live leSwatini selambe kanganani kuzama kuncoba sifo samdlavuza wemabele. She'll be joining us at 7:30 this morning.
We are also expecting to have a very, very important conversation around the Leaders Mindset Conference set for the 7th of October, going to be graced by the one and only Dr. Ok Su Park, who has a very, very decorated, career in the field that he does. Part of the things that he has achieved is 71 meetings with 43 heads of state, and that is from 31 countries. Eswatini is going to be one of those countries now. He has spoken on mind education as well as youth problems. He will be in the country on the 7th of October. We want to chime into this critical conference because we also do understand that the Ministry of Education is also supporting it with its own presence there and making its own contributions with regards to, education, particularly youth education, as well as problems engulfing the youth, as well as how we can change our minds to become greater leaders tomorrow, just like Dr. Ok Su Park ourselves. It is going to be an interesting conversation. Lomhla ekuseni makugabanga insimbi yesithupha.
Yeah, hlala nathi 5 minutes after 6 asibuke nathi lethamba imbili kumaphephandaba. Leading headlines on the Times of Eswatini this Tuesday morning. Two teachers, Times of Eswatini, 2 teachers detained in Hong Kong airport. They had been teaching in Taiwan but reportedly wanted to move to Ireland. Government asked to intervene, says it is still investigating. Killed boyfriend A woman says he was forcefully demanding sex. You can read more on page 3. And in other news, teacher raped by maid's boyfriend. Antiguletinye driver who killed cyclist faces 7 counts.
Qhubekela mbili sibuka temidlalo ku Eswatini Observer. That looked like the Eswatini Observer, I'm afraid, but this is the Times of Eswatini. We want to apologize for that mishap earlier on. These are the leading sports headlines. We are the Times of Eswatini. Maybe let's start by looking at the international front. Antoine Griezmann has retired. He has had quite the career and has scored some very important goals in his football career. Sibuyake ekhaya, Polestar injury exposes that ambulances scarcity is a grave concern. PLE registers health risks for teams, officials, as well as injured lenders. Player is yet to recover. Looking forward to learning that he has recovered indeed. Eswatini is out of the under-20 AFCON qualifiers is another story. Not surprised. Bull see robbers for Yellow Saturday.
All right, before we move on to the Eswatini Daily News, let's take a look at leading headlines on the Times of Eswatini this Tuesday morning.
All right.
All right, moving on to the Eswatini Daily News. Gansile Tambaye Mbili, Eswatini eyes Austria's clean energy solutions. Ganti Fisiwe Bembe on page 3 narrates on why she stabbed and killed her boyfriend. Gansile Tambaye Mbili, government takes the national budget to the people.
Our coach Draco Logahed's head coach Draco Logarisic accused by players of ill-treating them. Oh, wow, okay. EFA summons Croatian coach who has been told to toe the line. Another story, MTN Premier League, grudge matches in week 4 fixtures. And in South Africa, Sundowns Mngqithi hits back at critics.
All right, and that's it for our newspaper leading headlines this morning. It's 8 minutes after 6. We'll go for an ad break. Nas Saturday.
Kude lesinye isikhathi ngaphandle kwalesi
aba research bafunze.
Being risky means ukuthi nalokuwa kwayo kulula. Kude lesinye isikhathi ngaphandle kwalesi
aba research bafunze.
Being risky means ukuthi nalokuwa kwayo kulula.
Nathi kufuna sente ukukhicita lokusembili.
Ujala masoda mahle kunakho lesa.
Sabatandi ukuthi njengalokhu
Sifile sive sikhulume.
Welcome back. Sikuvusele nawo lo sandzaka sivulela nadidi ndzaba. Hulumende utimisele kulekelela sive ngeti inhlelo letentuthuko letifunwa ngiso nalesitidingako kutentuthuko yelive tobangileyo lekhonsako. Lokho kusho liphina ndvunankhulu impungathulisile dladla nalemukela sive sase enhlangu uyavuka ngaphansi kwenkundla yasemhlangatane kudla ngaphansi kwehlelo lolatiwa nge-Food for Asset Program. Lohlelo lingumphumela wokubambisana kwa hulumende kanye netinini tenkhosi lekulive le-Taiwan kanye nenhlangano i-World Vision. Umsebenzi bobanjelwe enhlangu uyavuka.
Selethula inkulumo yalo kulesive sasenhlangu yavuka liphinda ndunankulu umhlonishwa Kusile Dladla lidumise lesive ngekubeketela njengoba lo msebenzi wekuthola imali lahlobile sawuqala ngeminyaka wa-2014.
Sithi sive seNgwenyama asinibongele kakhulu ukuthi nisukume nitikhandle nigcine nifike la nifike khona namhlanje. Sile lapha sawubona lo msebenzi wenu umuntu wafikelwa kumangala esikhatsini esinyenti thine la eAfrika hayi la Eswatini kuphela la eAfrika sivame ukubheka ukuthi kufanele ukuthi kube khona lo sentelako kepha nine nithite batasikhanze endleleni.
Lilunga lephalamende lenkundla yasemhlangatane umhlonishwa Madala Mhlanga lithi lo msebenzi ubite imali lengetulu kwetigidzi letimfica kanti kutinikela kwesive ngikona kwente ukuthi uhambe masinyane.
Lena project nje beyitowethulwa namhla ngoma lechubekako ibenefit abantu labangetulu kwa-2000 emakhaya angetulu kwa-130 labatawuzuza kube bedemanda isikhathi lesinenge kuleya ndzawo. Baqala ku-2014 solo baphokophele ukuthi bamanelo umsebenzi ugcina uphumelele. Ngonje sibabongela bekunene sibonga nadotinini letifaka khatsi yena World Vision lo bese ukuthi awu kuba khutsata abasibayosebenza lapha kube khona labatakuthola ekupheleni kwako konke kukhutsata nje nalabanye ukuthi umsebenzi lofana nalona ngomavele walommango bawafake emandla bavukele emsebenzini bangagoqi itandla njengokuthi uhulumende utawenda konke siuboneke lo moya lo kuthi ukhona kuleya ndzawo yasenhlangu yavuka.
Umcondzisi wenhlangano yaka World Vision esifundzeni lesisentasi neAfrica Mark Kelly kanye na John Lai lobekamelele embasada welive leTaiwan kuleli bathi kuyajabulisa kubona sive sitimisela ekwenteni imisebenzi lekhonsako letosita ummango ukuthi bantfwana batokhula abangulabaphilile bafake isandla lesibonakalako entuthukweni yelive. Lo kudla lokunikelwe kuyingcenye yaloko lokungu-880 metric tons lokwanikelwa inhlangano yaka World Vision Taiwan lokutoniketwa sive ngaphansi kweluhlelo i-Food for Work, Food for Asset Program lolutochujwa etinkundleni letingamashumi-30 kanti ngekusho kweliphini landvunankulu imbunga Kusile Dladla leTaiwan selengete 400 wemathani kuthi kwenetiseke tonke tinkundla takuleli. Etindzabeni te-Eswatini TV ngumbongo Dube naSimova Shongwe enhlangu yavuka.
Liphini landvunankulu imbungathu lidladla lithi uma sive singabeketelelana sitithibe sihloniphane siphinze sithandzane ngekweliciniso singayincoba inkinga yekuhlukubetana ngetebulili. Liphina ndvunankulu belikhuluma enhlangu yavuka lapho belihlangene khona nesive lebesita umukela kudla ngemuva kokusebentela ngaphansi kwehlelo lolatiwa nge-Food for Asset Program. Liphina ndvunankulu lithi lokuhlukubetana ngetebulili ukugcina sekuphume nemphefumulo kwanzise inhlupheko emakhaya.
Sibogogo sesifile kukhulisa tintsandzane ngendzaba yokuthi bantwa bethu babe sebashaya nababulalana. Uma uva ukuthi sekuyashisa kakhulu lapha nihleti khona phuma uyoshaya ngumoya. Uma kumadima kakhulu uvela uhambe umnike kuthula lo muntu waNkulunkulu. Ngoba esikhatsini esinyenti utawukhanza ukuthi nababe akasayikhoni le pressure lomfakela yona ungimake. Ngoba nathi la emlonyeni asikavali siyakhuluma mbamba. Nababe naye esikhatsini esinyenti abalekele umsebenzi wakhe wekukhulisa abantwana wekubona likhaya. Kanti kufanele ukuthi sibambisane phela. Uma mina emake ngingasebenzi ngiyasebenza ekhaya baba kabone ukuthi nami ngiyatikhandla. Akusho ukuthi ngoba ngibuyi nemali kodwa le ngikusebenzako la ekhaya sekusita yena ukuthi angacashi. Nabo bobabe abasibeketelele thina bomake bathi ukuthi ungakhelela elikhaya ngwelo wathi uyangithatha wangisusa kithi ngabuye ngahlala lapha kini ngibeketeleleke uma ungasangifuni ungangishayi. Chubeka ubanake labantwana nami unginake noma ungathi angena ekamelweni nami akunenzaba kepha msa kungibeka sandla ngekuthi awusangifuni sowutholele omunye.
Fisiwe Bhembe loneminyaka lengu-32 wendzawo yaseMoneni uvele manje kuchaza ukuthi licala likusolakala ukuthi ubhekene nalo lekubulala singani sakhe lindeke kanjani.
Dzadze loneminyaka lengu-32 waseMoneni ulandzise ngaloko lokwenteka ngeMgcibelo khona eMoneni lapho kusolakala ukuthi wagwaza singani sakhe Mpumelelo Nzinisa ngentfo lecijile entsanyeni wavele washona khona lapho. Fisiwe Bhembe achaza ukuthi lesigameko senteka njena bebabuya esipotini kaGumbi lapho bebanatha tjwala khona. Uthi nabefika lapho bahlala khona kwakhiwa umnyango ngenkanankana kanye ngeluketane. Uthi lesingani sakhe Mpumelelo sacela kulala naye. Fisiwe uthi vele washaya ngendvuku phasi wate-ke watfola lisu lekuthi usemfuleni kepha Mpumelelo wathi akunendzaba utawufaka lijazi lemkhwenyana. Uthi Mpumelelo wathatha bhusha ngephasi kwembhedze wamshaya ngemuva wacala kopha Fisiwe. Uthi wetama kuvula inkanankana ngemukhwa waphuma wabaleka. Uthi-ke nakabaleka ayongena kulenye indlu befike bamcosha bathi akaphume ayolungisa tinkinga nesingani sakhe kantsi-ke futhi bathi utawungcolisa timphahla tabo ngengati. Uthi kusenjalo waphuma vele waya kulenye futhi indlu lapho wakhandza emantfombatana kantsi Mpumelelo uyamlandzela. Uthi lesingani sakhe sakhahlela sivalo. Fisiwe uthi waba nemcondvo wekuthi Mpumelelo solo uhlome ngabhusha. Kwaba ngilapho-ke athatha umukhwa wavele wawuphosa entsanyeni yaMpumelelo wavele washona khona lapho. Fisiwe Bhembe ubhekene nelicala lekubulala. Etindzabeni kubika Sonto Mlangeni nginaThemba Shabangu ngamanzini.
Komishana wamaphoyisa eMbube Nesive Vusi Masango uthi amaphoyisa akaqinise tinhlelo tekulwa nokuhlukubetana ngetebulili nemacala laphatselene nako lekumele amikiswe enkantolo angaphutiswa. Masango uthi lokhu akwentelwe ukuthi kutawuphela kubulalana esiveni. Ukusho lokho enkonzweni yemaphoyisa libanjelwe ekolishi lawo kuMathapha lapho bekuthandazelwa khona kuphela kwemkhuba wekuthi bulala nekubulalana lekubonakala kuya ngekwanza emaphoyiseni.
Emaphoyisa eMbube Nesive abamba lo mthandazo ngemuva kwekuthi kube netigameko letinyenti tekuhlukubetana ngetebulili lokugcine kuhamba nemiphefumulo. Letinye taletigameko letihambe nemiphefumulo nguleto letendiwe ngemaphoyisa kusetjentiswa tibhamu tembuso.
Not very long besilontsha i-amnesty month la EU okubona kufanele ukuthi le nyanga lesikuyo lena kube yinyanga lapho bonke lebanetibhamu letingekho emthethweni batisarende khona bese bathola i-amnesty. Lamhlanje sikhuluma langa lekugcina ukuthi wonke umuntu lonesibhamu lesingekho emthethweni akasilethe emaphoyiseni atokuthola shwele. Everybody la has got a mandate njengamsebenzi wethu singamaphoyisa lokuthi i-protection of life and property will be failing in our duty if umuntu, the officer, leli abuser umngalo noma leli abuser any partner stabe solo state confidentiality. No, not this time. Any officer estation sakho lo abuser partner wakhe kusukela lamhla lo muntu loyo ningamniki isibhamu. Ningamniki isibhamu tawuqhamuka i-instruction ebhaliwe ya-National Commission lesho ukuthi sitawusebenza njani.
Masangogcizelele ukuthi tinhlangothi tekweluleka nekusita abantu kuteka moya letasukumiswa ngamaphoyisa kufanele tisetjentiswe ngalokuphelele kutama kucedza lenkinga yekubulalana nekutibulala emaphoyiseni. Etindzabeni te-Eswatini TV, nguMbonga Dube naSimova Shongwe kumathapha.
Dumsani mfana wendlela amagagula losisebenzisa sembuso lesisebenta itiko letekuvakasha ubekwe licala lekushayisa abagibeli bemabhayisikili lamabili ngemgcibelo endzaweni yasemfabamfu umunye walabagibeli washona. Magagula uvele embi kwamantshi lomkhulu Florence Msibi.
Lesisebenti sembuso lesisebenta itiko letekuvakasha nendzaba temvelo njengalochuba timotolo driver sibekwe licala lekufelwa ngumuntfu ngesiphosiso kanye nekwephula imitsetfo leminyenti yemgwaco. Emacala lalahlengwawo sekaphelele asikhombisa njengoba afaka ekhatsi kutsi washayela ngebudlabha futhi wephula imitsetfo leminyenti yemgwaco. Dumsani mfana wendlela Magagula usolakala kutsi washayisa abagibeli bemabhayisikili lababili ngemgcibelo. Munye walabagibeli ngudokotela Malvin Masango lowashayiswa ngile moto washona khona lapho. Lona lomunye uyalulama esibhedlela. Magagula uniketwe ibheyili ya 5,000 emalangeni kanti ubheke ukuthi avele enkantolo mhla ka-15 October 2024. Bagibeli bemabhayisikili bebakhona-ke enkantolo tewutivela nakuchubeka lelicala batophindzeke futhi basekele emalunga emndeni lashonelwe. Etindzabeni kubika Sontomlangeni nginaThemba Shabangu kaManzini.
Isekela la Khomishana welibandla lelibuke emalungelo Human Rights and Public Administration Duduzile Dlamini uthi kutfolakala kwelwati kungasita ukuthi kube nebudlelwane lobuhle emkhatsini wahulumende kanye nesive esigabeni sekusebentela ebaleni nasekuniketeni isive lusito. Bekakhuluma ngesikhatsi lelibandla ligubha lusuku lobumgcoka bekutfolakala kwelwati.
Ngekuthi kufune tindzaba the information shows noma telwati noma kwatiseka kubantu kube info lesifaka kuto tonke tinhlelo lesinato emisebentini yetfu masichubeka sisebenta. So kuhambelana ke nendzaba yala shosi umsebenti lesithunywe wona sibaka Human Rights Commission lotsi kufute bantu babe nayo lilungelo lokuba nelwati batiseke ngemisebenti lesetshenzwa nguhulumende nabo bakhone ukuthi bakhone kubuta ukuthi uhulumende usebenta njani. So ke lo lwati lulungelo lemuntu namunye ngamunye ukuthi akhone naye ukuthi abute ukuthi uhulumende kanjani so engaging in governance abone ukuthi ngiyabekisa njena singemaswati siyasebenzisa iParliamente kube ngibo laba sikhulumelako ngoba ngeke sikhone ukukhulumela sisodwana. So lelilanga lelisikhumbuta ke ukuthi sibasebenzise emalunga ethu eParliamente ukuthi sihambe siyokhuluma tindzaba letitsintsana nekubuswa kwahulumende letitsintsana nekuniketwa kwemisebenti kuhulumende tindzaba temanti tindzaba tabogesi noma nje tindzaba letinye letikhulumelana nemabhizinisi nato tonke tintfo lesicabanga ukuthi tingalungisa impilo yethu singemaswati siqhubeka sisebenta siphila. Kuphindze kube nala kuhlangana khona indzaba yokusebentele ebaleni tindzaba temalungelo nekuthi kube khona ukuthi sibone ukuthi uhulumende usebenta kanjani. Emaswati atawukhumbula ukuthi sithe human rights kusho sinje sibukele amalungelo ebantu siphindze sibe ngumvikelo wahulumende lapha khona sibuka khona ukuthi hulumende usebenta njani sikhona la sihlaba khona simncwadzise la futhi simncwadzise khona. So ke sitakwenda njani ke lokho mangabe side information noma lwati tsite ngoba indzaba uyikhuluma mawati ukuthi ukhuluma ngani. Siyakhutsata ke ukuthi uhulumende emitsetfweni yakhe lekhona kuchubeke lokho kwendeke so that bantu batokhona ukuthi basite uhulumende naye uhulumende abasite ekwenteni ukuthi kusebenta kwahulumende lokhu lokufunwa sive.
Litiko letisebenti litsi tizatfu letivetwe inhlangano yebusiness Eswatini letiyente kutsi iphume ebaleni lekuthiwa yi-Labour Advisory atisilo liciniso. Loku kulandzela kutsi ibusiness Eswatini imemetele kutsi seyiyaphuma kuleli bandla ngenca yendlela lekuvotwa ngayo emhlanganweni kanye nekutsatfwa kwetincomo ngaphandle kokuvumelana. Ngekusho kombiko lothunyelwe ngilo litiko letisebenti, imihlangano yaleli bandla sihlalo wayo kuba ngukhomishana wetisebenti kanye nemasekela asihlalo walabamelele tisebenti kanye nebacashi. Kumanje sihlalo waleli bandla ngemalunga ayo ibusiness Eswatini kanye neThukhoswa. Litiko lithi kude ngisho nasinye sincumo lesike satsatfwa kuleli bandla iminyakeni leyengcile ngemuva kokuvota. Litiko lithi lapho bekungavunyelwana khona bekukhulunyiswana kude kufike lapho onke emalunga avumelana khona ngavilinye. Litiko lithi kude ngisho sinye sishukumiso lesiphakamisiwe yibusiness Eswatini lesithi akwentiwe tingucuko kulendlela lelisebenta ngayo leli bandla noma ke sikhalo lesilethwe yibusiness Eswatini yetiko sekuthi letinye tinhlangothi letikuleli bandla atiphathi kahle. Litiko lithi leli bandla le-Labour Advisory Board litawuchubeka lisebente njengekugunyatwa ngumtsetfo wetisebenti Industrial Relations Act. Inkampani yahulumende lebuke kuthuthukisa abosomabhizinisi labancane nalabasemkhatsini iSEDCO seyinikete iteluleko ngendlela yekwakha umkhombandlela webhizinisi. Bekani Dlamini lobuke tekuthuthukisa emabhizinisi kule nkampani ukhutsata labo labafise kucala emabhizinisi ukuthi batinike isikhathi lesanele nabenta lolu hlelo njengoba uma kubonakala kwangathi akucondzakali kahle ukuthi imali itawusebenta kanjani angeke tinhlangano letibokelekisa imali tilivume lolu hlelo loyo lofuna lusito.
Qoka lokuthi le business yakho imarket inayo yini, ngibani le market seyivumile yini khona nebufakazi lebushoko bokuthi loyo muntu loyo utothenga athenga longakanani. Shothi uthina lesiqiniseko ngale on the market side ukuthi vele ikhona le market lotayithengisela, ngoba na unganayo le market kufana nokuthi uyagembula ujika nje lidayisi lingahle liwine lingahle lingawini. So to increase your chances of winning udzinga lokuthi ube nayo le market ibe secured, ibe sesandleni. Sikhulumisa nayo this concept yabo market led approach ukuthi silandzela imarket kabhizinisi hayi ukuthi imarket siyifuna ngoba naso sesicalile le business. Then secondly, make sure that you have a product. They don't solve the problem. Yalabathengi ngoba labo bathengi beta kuwe noma they shout ukuthi bathingani ukuthi banaleto tinkinga letufuna kusolve. Leo solution yakho kube ngile solution lengiyo letaba consistent ingathi namhla seyihlukile ngalenye ilanga seyihlukile ngalenye ilanga kanjalo ayifanani. So maintain that standard of quality. Lokunye ke inzabe standard of quality is critical ukuthi usimaintain le standards of quality. And then lokunye lokumcoka ke ukuthi imarketing lokuthi ke nayi le market phela funa ikhule kuze ukuthi uyikhulise before uyikhule funa uyipenetrate ungene la kuyo ungene utinte uyisupply and then bese soyayikhulisa ke kufuna bese soba nale marketing strategy that is designed ukuthi ikhone ukuthi ikhulise le market yakho.
Gogo Ellen Dlamini wendzawo yaseMotshani lotiphilisa ngekwenta imisebenti yetandla lefaka ekhatsi ukukolosha tigcoko kanye nekweluka emacansi yasebentisa emaplastiki ucela sive ukuthi simsite ngetintfo letitawenta ukuthi le mikhicito ihlale kahle iphindze imakethe kahle. Gogo Dlamini uthi ucela nesive ukuthi simesekele njengoba asebenzisana nemlingani wakhe lotfunga tikhwama kanye neticatfulo.
Lo kuthunga siyakorosha phindze kulukwe nemagcasi phindze sente naleticolo nalo msebenzi ke lo recycle. Mina sicela tandla ngoba le hule iyadula bese wena temalangeni bese kufuneka ke ngabitha ngithini unabo bonopopi nopopi ke kufuna mangidesignile wena babe wena msakado wamshaba mangidesignile lento yami iba yinhle la khathi ikunalo labo lopopi manje labo popi bathengwe eSouth Africa manje Nkosi yami angithi nje labo lopopi noma nje Nkosi yami sebangu4 angeke phela noma nje sebathathu bantu abami ngoba phela so ungendela nje ukuthi kubonakala le design iphuma kahle la kulopopi le design.
Kutemidlalo Mavuso lobuketi inhlelo tekuthuthukisa kanye nekukhulisa temidlalo kuleli ngaphansi kwenhlangano lengamele tinhlangano tetemidlalo uthi tingijimini badlali labachamuka etikolweni kutawuba ngibo labatawubukwa kakhulu kule minyaka lesihlanu letako uma ngabe live litimisele ukuthi licale kutfola timendlela emidlalweni lemikhulu yemhlaba lefana nema-Olympics kanye nema-Commonwealth. Mavuso uthi kunyenti live lelingakufundza kulamanye emave lafaya ekhatsi iBotswana lahambisa kakhulu intuthuko yebadlali etikolweni.
Sina siyi-council sinemsebenzi lomkhulu ukuthi sihlale phansi si-identify areas lesicabanga ukuthi ngawo vele lekatawenta live lakangwane libe proud in terms of ama-performances because tikolo nje nawubuka kulama emavele sekatfufukile bakhona labo academies and so forth and so forth, but we cannot compare ourselves with those kangako except ukuthi thina i-academy yethu lenkulu Fabrice ngama-school sports. School sports ke ama-sports asetikolweni and tikolwa tingama-established institutions lakhona all over the country. So if sitawuchubeka sisupport itikolo netikolo sibambisane, ngiyajabula nje ukuthi tikolo tibambisene kakhulu ne-Ministry of Education ne-Ministry of Sports la ekutheni vele kufanele sifocuse lapho. Then ke sitayibona imiphumela yakusasa. Siyawubonga nje lokubambisana lokuhle sikubonayo Ministry of Education Ministry of Sports tibambisene and we can be hopeful ukuthi in the near future lama medals ekufanele siwawine not only at region level Fabrice kufanele siwatfole at continental level even in Olympic Games. We have just started in the office like development, but nje ke mina ngisho ukuthi honestly within the next 5 years ifuna kube nemehluko lomkhulu because kufanele sihlale phansi ngama stakeholders ema-sports, sihlale phansi sibuke ukuthi kuze kufike impumelelo ema-stakeholders athini ngikuphi la singa benchmarka khona vele ema-sports atawuchubeka support as long as sitawu developer ema-policies la well researched futhi sitawu benchmarka kumave la successful akhona amave la successful Fabrice iBotswana nayo seceleni kwethu ingangathi futhi nangenombolo, and those people we can learn a lot from them even from their mistakes. If bakhona ama mistakes lebawendile we can learn from them, sichubeke siye phambili sidevelop le live lethu kutemidlalo. But emidlalo tine role lenkulu ekuhlanganiseni sive sengwenyama nalokunengi nje lesingakhuluma ngako uma sikhathi sinaso ngalenye la.
26 minutes before 7 sibeka lapho ngaledo temidlalo tindzaba tetfu sitawabahlola temakethe sitawubuya sichubeke sinishene semselitulo.
Kude lesinye isikhathi ngaphandle kwalesi
aba research bafunde.
Being risky it means ukuthi nalokuwa kwayo kulula.
Nathi kufuna sente ukukhicita lokhu sekungeni.
Renewal of TV licenses for 2024 is now open. Here is a quick reminder. A viewer's TV license costs 180 emalangeni per device. Other accessories such as decoders and set-top box cost 50 emalangeni per device. For traders and repairers, TV license costs 300 emalangeni per business area. And now, to pay your TV license, use these following methods. You can use MTN Mobile Money with the number 76222000 or dial *007 *3 *7 hash. Or you can use Eswatini Imali. And you can pay our TV license at any post office in the country. Another option is you can use any NetBank branch using our TV license account number 119900430037. Don't forget, when paying for your viewer's TV license, reference with your PIN at all times. And when paying for a retailer TV license, reference with your TIN at all times. For more information, call us on 7802-4543 or 34050163 or 34020879. And you can send us a WhatsApp message on 762222000.
I'm a very, 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 very happy customer.
I know.
Imali ebhizinisi ayidliwa wayidla utobulala phansi.
Hayi ngimsebenzi yethu lesiyendako la ekhaya njengoba niyibona lilihle nakangaka.
Ngiyakolosha, which is crocheting.
Ngiyakhicita ke noko kakhulu emsebenzini wethu ikhumba.
Ngenda kodaba emaqiqi nokugaba entsanyeni.
Ngilungisa emagedlela.
Hello, how are you? We are selling peanuts at 5. Thank you so much. Umdala kubusi. Pandistrat, babe.
As the saying goes, education is the key to unlock the golden door of freedom. Great news for the learners. Eswatini TV brings back the home learning with a wide range of subjects for the grade 7s, Form 3s and Form 5s from the safety of their home.
Change in speed and there's no change in wavelength, meaning that the wavelength of the incident wavefronts.
Watch home learning every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. only on Eswatini TV. Sibuko semaswati.
All right, 20 minutes after 6. Thank you for staying with us. You're still watching Kusile Breakfast Show. This is the Tuesday edition. Our first interview segment, we want to look at the Leaders Mindset Conference set for the 7th of October 2024 at the IYF Eswatini Center in Manzini. A conference that is set to bring together officials coming from government, educators as well as Christian leaders, but more importantly, our youth, who are the target rather, under the theme of leadership and mind education. Thrilled to have in studio Ketugu Tula Simelane. She's the External Relations Officer, and we also have Pastor Taeyang. I hope I'm not butchering your name. But yeah, he's from the Good News Mission. As I welcome you to the show, maybe let me start with you, Ketuk Tula. You are the External Relations Officer. Perhaps you can share with us what this Leaders Mindset Conference is about, really, and how, let's say, it aligns with what we want to have as Eswatini with our youth, perhaps our national goals for youth development and leadership.
Well, IYF is a mind education center where we teach Swati how to have a positive mindset towards the future, and it is pillared by 3 words that starts with C: challenge, change, cohesion. So we face challenges, and if you're an IYF member, then when you see a challenge, you will be excited because you will know this is the chance for me to be better and be more conquerors. And when you see change, then you will always be ready to change based on the situation that you're facing. And by cohesion, we mean that we do everything together despite your ethnicity, your culture and everything. So we're doing it together with our South Korean people. They come here and assist us, as IYF is in many other different countries as well. So Eswatini is also privileged to have that and be trained with the right mindset to change our country for the better and not wait for someone to come and rescue us. So we're just, through the change of mind, we can think deeply and have so many ideas that we can use as the youth to change our economy and change how we see Eswatini.
Yeah, absolutely. We can't change our economy if we can't, solve problems when we are confronted by problems, economic problems, everything. But Pastor, she's speaking to something very important, the global reach that this initiative has. Perhaps let me just mention the numbers here. Over 1,500 branches in 115 countries. What drives this global movement? Let me come to you, Pastor. What drives this global movement, and how does this upcoming conference in particular fit into your broader mission?
Actually, this leaders conference is to everybody, because mostly how IYF is thinking to open up to the global issues is the youth is our future, and they are the one who will be the leaders in the future, and they are the one who key. So one young man started to have a hope and dreams. Like despite of the situation, he started to dream how he will reach out to the Africa, Oceania, and other continents. And that is our founder's story. And now, as you have mentioned, we reached out almost 115 countries, because the key message that we cared, has within our messages through mind educations. And actually it comes from the Bible and the heart of Christ. And when it entered to the heart of youth, and it started to bear the fruit, which is they come out from the drug addict and alcoholic, and they start to see how to help others. So this coming of the Leaders Conference, it might be one of our major program to our Eswatini and our youth to start their new life with understanding.
Absolutely, and I do see that in the poster you have Reverend Dr. Oksu Park.
Yes.
He's widely known globally for his expertise on mind education. Perhaps let's dwell much further into what mind education is and why it is important.
The mind education, it is the understanding of word of the heart. People may think the knowledge and skills might change their life, but actually where the action comes from is from their heart. But lack of understanding of the world of hearts bring them to miscommunications and misunderstanding. So they confused what they are having in their hearts. So for us, through this mind education, we exactly deliver them and guide them what is in their hearts. Especially, we say the rivers flows in our hearts, meaning there is a way that our heart is flowing. People may think, maybe because I have this situation, so I ended up this way. No. Actually, there's a certain hearts that hides in them, leading them to meet that consequences. So mind education that we invented and that we learned in the Bible through the Reverend Dr. Oxford Park, and he started to deliver to the young people with not approach of Christianity, but is beyond, like interdenominationally. He delivered the education method. So many people start to understand their hearts. So they are now understanding why I'm having this problem. And they start to overcome because they understand well, and they start to figure out their problem themselves, and they become young leaders now.
Yeah, Katikchula, maybe let me come back to you. How has the reception been in Eswatini with all these important things that you are mentioning? I can imagine, we have community leaders, we have educators, we also have government officials, some of which are, the people that appear on this poster that you'll be working with. With regards to the work that you guys do, what does the reception look like?
Well, we have received so many support from the leaders and the government officials here in Eswatini, because our country director has even shared mind education with when the parliament was being opened.
Okay.
Yes, so they see, and even His Majesty, they see how important this mind education is, and in that way we are able to have access to so many companies that also support the center, because at the center we recruit so many volunteers and other Emaswati underprivileged and those that are interested in the things that we do, construction and other volunteer works. So they come and they support us with so many things that we need there, like food and other necessities. And I have really been so grateful to see how it changed even our Emaswati's lives. We have had over 25 brothers gone to South Korea for construction internship for 3 months there, and they came back and decided to start a construction business. So this helps them to grow and change their lives as well. So if you can change one person in a family, then the whole family is set to be more better. And yes, through the changing of the mind, they also think out of the box.
So I suppose even that kind of reception also translates into the attendance of people.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Absolutely. Let me come back to you, Pastor. This one, I suppose, speaks to the very, thing that you do every day. The secret of forgiveness of sin and being born again. We are seeing that this is one of the key focuses of the Good News Mission. Talk to me about how this concept is going to be explored during the conference and why it is central in your mission.
Actually, Reverend Dr. Park, he himself is a preacher. And the one thing that we would like to deliver to all mankind as a main message is Jesus is our Savior. And the heart and the knowledge that we get from the Bible, the purely, and that is how people are understanding themselves and condemning themselves in the particular situations. Let's say, even I'm hearing today the news that the one lady who was murdering her boyfriend, the maid's boyfriend, and what. But many people try to focus what she has done. But when we read Bible, when we know the particular story of what happened to the woman who committed adultery, mostly people were trying to condemn her with the stones, because according to the law of Moses, she must stone to death. And that is what we know, and that is what we are trying to do now. But in the particular moment, Jesus was there, and people were accusing and testing him by scribes and Pharisees. And what Jesus did, he was writing on the ground. And Bible doesn't explain what he wrote on the ground. But at the time he was telling to people, even among you who has no sin, may stone her the first. And all these people, all this to the last, they convicted and they ran away. And the one who remained with Jesus was the woman who caught in adultery. And Jesus was saying to her once again, after he wrote again and saying, do you have accuser of yours? No, Lord. And she said, and Jesus said, neither I condemn thee, go and sin no more. The word of Jesus that he did after he wrote on the ground 2 times saved her life and made her sin-free and made a new life. So people, they do not know why Jesus came in this earth, but he came to save our life and give us new life. And the word that he's saying, neither I condemn you, go and sin no more, means he is the Savior who's going to take away sin of the all of us. So he could say that because he has authority and he has a power. So we believe the message of Jesus Christ that sinner to be righteous. And the message, when it enters one's heart exactly, and meeting and understanding their exact point of spiritual status, the people start to change.
Wow.
We have been doing for 60 years. Even me, myself, I'm just young man, like 35 years. And I met Jesus Christ in my heart when I was 14. And all my lifestyles and, life circumstances was not that good and that standard life. But through the message and the gospel that delivered by Good News Mission and the practice and the teaching of the IYF brought and changed entire my heart and my life. So one day I was in foreign country meeting people, sharing happiness and joy. And we would like to share this message to our Mswatis and our Eswatis, because they have to know how they can really capable of through the love of Jesus. So hope you may see further activities and how we are doing, and you may join us, all of you, so that you can have a true happiness in your life.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor. Absolutely, and I suppose everything that you are saying will come to fruition because, one, the gesture of hospitality of free transport, one, which is very important. There's also free lunch, as well as what else? There's quite a lot. Free admission as well. I suppose that's a kind of gesture of hospitality that should motivate even someone who's going to be at home without the money to go there, perhaps, or worried about what they're going to eat, and I want to hear you chime into that as to how does this gesture of hospitality, say, reflect the values that you have as Good News Mission?
Well, first we value the change of mindset more than money, of course. So it comes, money just comes. Actually, we're supposed to attract money, not go after it. So with this training, we want all Emaswati in their largest numbers to come and have this training with us just one day. And I am sure and positive that they're going to change their lives for the better. So they can just be on the lookout on our IYF page, IYF Eswatini Facebook page, for the towns where the where the free transport will be located to pick them up and keep time.
Otherwise, 7 October.
7 October is the day, yes.
I think the application, it has a link, and it is on our Facebook page. So once they apply, we can get exact number, so we may not miss anyone. So we would like to give anyone of the 10 chance.
Well, good looking out. All the best with the program.
Thank you.
Maybe you'll see me there as well. Hopefully, I won't be working on the day. It looks to be a very, very interesting day. And Maswati, I'm sure, will come in their numbers. Free admission, free transport, free lunch. That was Ketugutula Similana, the external relations at Good News Mission. She's with Pastor Tae Young Her. Am I correct by saying?
Yeah,
okay.
correct.
Fantastic. Pastor Taeyang Her from the Good News Mission. Let's go for a net break. We'll be back shortly.
Meet Tando. She's taking control of her health with the PrEP ring. The PrEP ring is a small, flexible silicone ring that you insert into your private parts once a month. It releases medication that helps prevent HIV. It's discreet, convenient, and fits seamlessly into your life. With the PrEP ring, you can reduce your risk of HIV infection and focus on what matters most. Empower yourself with the PrEP ring, your monthly shield against HIV. Worried about side effects? Most people on PrEP experience minimal side effects. Choose the PrEP ring to prevent HIV.
Phela ama-culprits lentisa labantwana letika ngoba umntwana lona 11 lona 12 lona 13 lona 14 lokulala nje usangakakucabanga
nangabe kunenombolo leli which are so horrifying and spine chilling over a very, very short space of time. Labantwana bavikelekile yini?
Inzaba ithi bantwana solo bayakhulelwa. Then the thing is what must be done now. Ngeke sihlale mengameli sigoce etandla sithi ngoba umntwana akakafanele ukulala. Sidabe siyathi mislead mengameli nasiyibuka from that approach.
Ubhlungu mangabe siyiphalamende sitawuthi bampa bethu 11 12 sithakahamba ye clinic siyomfaka implant sesimnika imvume kokuthi akalale noma singaphucuka kwani Madam President simaswati
kasheula isikole esincane lesa kusingaba nenombolo engaka bantwana lokusa mhlambe ba pregnant abekho esikoleni kuyathusa kakhulu nasekuthiwa inombolo engaka ephuma esikoleni sisinye
lana sikhulumisa i-national policy umthetho waleli velo. I didn't take it from the back of my head.
Ukukhulula istal product ngoba abantwana bawugcina bahlaba ngalomjovo bagcine bangasatali.
Umsebenzi wethu singemaswati is to protect the family and to protect the dignity of human lives. I've got so many of these kids. Labamithiswe bobabe labadzala babafakela ne-infection yale HIV. Akuboshwe bona.
Good afternoon. I'm Elizabeth Thatcher. I'm your new teacher. I'd like to talk about what I expect from you. I expect you to pay attention when I'm speaking. I expect you to raise your hand when you would like to speak. The school is in this saloon?
It's the only place big enough to hold our children, Miss Thatcher. We had requested a mature, experienced teacher, someone who would not shrink from the challenges that Coal Valley presents.
I realize I am perhaps not what you expected, but I assure you I am acquainted with the most modern teaching theories.
The superintendent of schools did tell you what happened here.
No, he didn't.
Welcome back. It has just gone 7 o'clock this very Tuesday morning. Thank you for staying with us. Kusile Breakfast Show, the Tuesday edition. The government of the Kingdom of Eswatini is determined to deliver sustainable developmental projects. This is going to go to communities as per their needs. This was said by the Deputy Prime Minister, Senator Kusile Dladla, during a food distribution exercise under the Food Asset Program. It was held at Nhlanguyavuka community in the Mahlangatane constituency. Now, the program being implemented by the government of Eswatini is in partnership with the Republic of China, Taiwan and World Vision.
Delivering her speech to the residents of Nhlanguyavuka, the Deputy Prime Minister, Senator Kusile Dladla, applauded the community for their perseverance as they started the Clean Water Project in the year 2014, overcoming many challenges in the process.
Sithi sive sengwenyama asinibongele kakhulu ukuthi nisukume nitikhandle nigcine nifike la nifike khona namhlanje. Sile lapha sawubona lo msebenzi wenu umuntu wafikelwa kumangala. Esikhatsini esinyenti thine la eAfrika hayi la eSwatini kuphela la eAfrika sivame ukubheka ukuthi fanele ukuthi kube khona lo sentelako. Kepha nine nithite batasikhanze endleleni.
The Member of Parliament of Mhlangatane constituency, Honorable Madala Mhlanga, says the project cost over 9 million emalangeni. The assistance of the community has helped to speed up its implementation.
Lena project nje beyitowethulwa namhla ngoma lechubekako ibenefit abantu labangetulu kwa 2000 emakhaya angetulu kwa 130 labatawuzuza kube bedemand isikhathi lesinenge kuleyandzawo. Baqala ku-2014 solo baphokophele ukuthi bamanelo umsebenzi ugcina uphumelele. Ngonje sibabongela bekunene sibonge nadotinini.
The Southern Africa Director of World Vision, Mark Kelly, and John Lai, who was representing the ambassador of the Republic of China, Taiwan to Eswatini, expressed their happiness in seeing a community committed to its own development, which will ensure the healthy upbringing of their children as they are the future of the community. The distributed food is part of the 880 metric tons of rice that was donated by World Vision Taiwan to be distributed under the Food for Work, Food for Asset program in 39 constituencies, and according to the Deputy Prime Minister, the Embassy of the Republic of China, Taiwan, has since added 400 metric tons to be further distributed to all 59 constituencies of the kingdom. Reporting, Mbongwa Dube, Smova Shongwe, Nhlanguyavuka.
The Deputy Prime Minister, Senator Kusile Dladla, says the gender-based violence scourge could be overcome if people were sincere in their relationships. They should be upheld by respect for one another and loved unconditionally. The Deputy Prime Minister was speaking at Nhlanguyavuka community, where community members were gathered to receive food parcels after taking part in the Food for Work, Food for Asset program.
Sibogogo sesifile ukukhulisa tintsandzane. Ngenzaba yokuthi bantu bethu babe sebashaya nababulalana. Uma uva ukuthi sekuyashisa kakhulu lapha nihleti khona. Phuma uyoshaya ngomoya. Uma kumadima kakhulu uvela uhambe umnike ukuthula lo muntu waNkulunkulu.
Elderly women are overburdened due to looking after children left behind by deceased parents due to gender-based violence. People should have coping skills during time of conflict. One of these is walking out to get fresh air, and if things do not improve, leave the relationship. Sometimes men cannot cope with the pressure exerted on them by women. Sometimes we talk too much. Sometimes men neglect their own responsibilities. Men should also be patient and understanding and not neglect their children.
Bembe, who is 32 years, appeared in Magistrates Court to recount the events of the night her boyfriend was allegedly stabbed in the neck and subsequently died.
A 32-year-old woman from Moneni, Fisiwe Bembe, appeared before magistrates to recount the events leading to her death of her boyfriend, Bumelelo Nzinisa. Fisiwe is facing a charge of murder following an incident that reportedly took place after a night of drinking. According to her testimony, the couple had returned home from a local bar known as Gagumbi. After locking the doors, Pumelelo requested to engage in sexual relations. Fisiwe refused, citing that she was on her menstrual period. Despite her protest, Bumelelo insisted, claiming he would use a condom. Fisiwe says she continued to decline. Fisiwe alleged that Mpumelelo attacked her from behind with a bush knife, causing her to bleed. In a state of panic, Fisiwe says she attempted to escape by using a knife to unlock a door and ran to another room. However, she says she was told to return and resolve the issues with her boyfriend. She says that she was told that she might stain their clothes with blood. She was urged to leave the premises. Fisiwe then sought refuge in another house full of women, but soon discovered that Mpumelelo was following her. When he kicked the door down, Fisiwe says she grabbed a sharp object, mistakenly believing that Mpumelelo was still armed. In the confrontation that ensued, Fisiwe says she allegedly stabbed him in the neck, resulting in his immediate death. For Eswatini TV News, Sondomlangeni with Temba Shabangu, Manzini.
The National Commissioner of Police, Vusi Masango, has urged the police service to tighten all screws on issues of gender-based violence and expedite such cases as reported for further transformation to the country's courts. This is going to reduce the ever-increasing gender-based killings. The National Commissioner was speaking at the Matsapa Police Academy.
Okubona kufanele ukuthi le nyanga lesikuyo kube inyanga lapho bonke lebanetibhamu letingekho emthethweni batisarende khona bese bathola i-amnesty. Lamhlanje sikhuluma langa lekugcina.
The African Union deemed it fit for African countries to give amnesty to those who would bring to the police all illegal firearms. Today is the last day to do so. As the police, we have a mandate to protect life and property. Yes, confidentiality is part of our code as the police service, but not with GBV. Any officer who abuses their partner should not be given a firearm. The National Commissioner's Office shall issue a notice to this effect in due course.
Leli abuser umngalo noma leli abuser ene partner stabe solo state confidentiality. No, not this time.
Dumsani Mfana Wendlela Makakula, a civil servant, is allegedly the driver of a vehicle that struck two cyclists in the Mfabantu area, resulting in one cyclist's death. Makakula appeared before Principal Magistrate Florence Msibi.
A 55-year-old man from Madlangempisi, Dumsani Mfana Wendlela Makakula, has been charged with 7 counts, including culpable homicide and neglect driving. Makakula appeared before magistrate court after allegedly striking 2 cyclists, one of whom is Dr. Malvin Masango, a 45-year-old man who died on the spot. Additional charges include driving without due care and attention, failing to maintain his driving lane, and not braking in a timely manner. Makakula is a civil servant who works as a driver at the Ministry of Tourism and Environmental Affairs. Makakula was granted bail of 5,000 emalangeni and is expected to return to court on the 15th of October 2024. Cyclists were present to hear the proceedings. Eswatini TV News, Sondomlangeni, Temba Shabangu, Manzini.
The Deputy Commissioner of the Commission of Human Rights and Public Administration, Kusile says access to information is a fundamental human right that empowers eMaswati to engage meaningfully in governance processes. Dlamini was speaking when delivering the commemoration of the International Universal Access to Information Day.
Access to information is a fundamental human right that empowers citizens to engage meaningfully in governance processes. It serves as a catalyst for ensuring transparency, aligning individuals to hold public officials accountable, and ensuring that government actions are conducted in an open and a participatory manner. Embedding access to information within the public sector operations requires that we not only enhance the integrity of our institutions, but also promote effective service delivery, thus holding public institutions accountable, which is essential to national development. The link between transparency, human rights, and effective service delivery cannot be overstated. When citizens have the right to access to information, they are better equipped to make informed decisions, advocate their rights, and actively participate in the democratic process. This empowerment leads to improved public service delivery services and also to the needs and aspirations of the populace that's driving sustainable development and enhancing the quality of life for all citizens.
In a press statement, the ministry has noted the sudden and unannounced revocation of membership at the Labour Advisory Board led by Business Eswatini, which is one of the 3 employers' federations representing the interests of employers in the ministry's tripartite structures. Although it is Business Eswatini's constitutional right to choose to participate, or rather not to participate, in tripartite structures which have been established to provide consultative forum and advisory services to the Ministry on legislative and policy matters affecting the employment and labour space. The ministry has deemed it fit to correct the misinformation of the reasons that are alleged to have caused the Business Eswatini to revoke her participation, being alleged voting in meetings and lack of consensus in decision-making. The public is informed, therefore, that all meetings of the Labour Advisory Board are co-chaired by the Commissioner of Labour, together with the employers and workers' vice chairpersons. The current vice chairpersons at the lab are nominated by members from Business Eswatini and the Trade Union Congress of Swaziland to KOSWA. Respectively, not even one of the decisions that have been adopted by the lab in the past so many years was adopted following a voting exercise. Differences of views by members of the lab were either afforded prolonged engagements in an effort to build consensus and or yielded by agreement of the meeting to the officers of the board that is composed of the chairperson and the vice chairs to consider a consensus way forward, taking into account, of course, the different views that are expressed in the meeting. No motion has been moved by the recommending for changes in the working methods of the lab relating to consensus building, nor was there any complaint that was forwarded to the ministry escalating a complaint of being bullied by some constituents in tripartite meetings. The ministry would want to assure its stakeholders that the lab will continue to operate as well as execute its statutory mandate as enshrined in Part 3 of the Industrial Relations Act No. 1 of 2000, as amended. Moving along, most entrepreneurs have been failing to secure funding for their businesses, and most financiers cite that most of the business plans submitted do not meet the required standard. Begani Dlamini is a business development manager from SEDCO, and he gives a guide on how to write a winning business plan.
It has to be a well-researched business. And I will try to unpack it. A well-researched business is one where there is a problem that already exists in the market, and that problem can be solved with a particular product. And that particular the proponent, the proposer of the business is able to bring that product to the market effectively. That is a well-researched business. And over and above that, that particular business must be able to generate profits such that even if that business were to take a loan, it would be able to repay with portion of the profits and still remain with healthy cash flows such that it can continue operating without any hindrances cash-wise. Then there are the issues around what needs to be in the business plan. The first thing that we have to look at in the business plan, like I said, was the market. We have to look at the market and what the market needs, what the problem that exists in the market is. And then you can move on and look at the product that we are bringing to the market as a solution, because that particular product or service must present a solution to the market.
Business Eswatini's president, Mvuselelo Fagutse, has unpacked the Renewable Energy Developers Guide, which seeks to ensure that Eswatini has sustainable renewable energy by 2050. The guide is a joint effort by Business Eswatini and different stakeholders, and it is funded by the European Union.
Energy Master Plan 2050 projects that electricity demand would have risen significantly in the said year, and Eswatini would need to develop 1,000 megawatts of new generation capacity, of which 80% should come from renewable energy resources. Business Eswatini's president, Mvuselelo Fagutse, unpacks the Renewable Energy Developers Guide, which seeks to ensure Eswatini reaches this target.
The Developers Guide is meant to help entrepreneurs in the energy sector with assistance from the European Union. The assistance comes from the different partners of the EU that are deliberately trying to help Eswatini succeed in the green energy space. So there are people that are specialized in in energy solutions that we're looking for in the green energy space that are based in the EU. Thousands of them at no cost to local entrepreneurs in the energy space. They provide technical assistance to them on how to develop a business case, whether it is on solar or other ways of generating power. As you know, there's hydro, there's biomass, but their role is just to help provide expertise, because they've seen this many times and they've developed a lot of these various schemes for power generation. So all that they're offering is basically technical assistance to local entrepreneurs, members of Business Eswatini, and the entire Swaziland population that want to generate power for themselves.
The master plan states that investment requirement for developing renewable energy projects is estimated at 1.1 to 1.5 billion US. This is for generation, transmission and distribution, which is over 25 billion emalangeni. For Eswatini TV News, Nelson Dlangamandla, Vuminkosi Nzinisa, Mbabane.
Shifting our focus now into stories making headlines from the international front. Fears of a wider regional war in the Middle East have grown in the wake of an Israeli strike which killed Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah, a death that Iran's supreme leader has vowed will not go unpunished.
In the wake of the death of Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah in an Israeli airstrike, Israel's military announced the country is on high alert for potential retaliation. After Iran's supreme leader vowed that Nasrallah's death would not go unavenged, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has in turn issued a warning to Tehran.
I want to address you, the people of Iran. Every day, you see a regime that subjugates you make fiery speeches about defending Lebanon, defending Gaza. Yet every day, that regime plunges our region deeper into darkness and deeper into war. Every day, their puppets are eliminated. Ask Mohammed Dev. Ask Nasrallah. There is nowhere in the Middle East Israel cannot reach.
Iran has indeed taken precautions, hiding away its leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, in case he too is targeted. So far, the country has been reluctant to retaliate. It hung back after the assassination in July of Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran. Now, according to this analyst, Iran is treading carefully about when, or even if, it will respond to Nasrallah's death.
The messages coming out of Iran right now is that Iran is going to look out for Iran. Iran has no interest in a regional conflict. It would like to see Hezbollah save itself to some extent, but it's not about to jump into the fire. There are also serious concerns that the government of Benjamin Netanyahu is very emboldened by the fact that, one year of carnage in Gaza, it has been able to get away with. It has done what it has done in Lebanon, including targeting densely populated areas, and therefore that the next target will be Iran itself and possibly its nuclear weapons.
Iran also wants to keep the door open to a deal with the West on its nuclear program, in the hopes of ending crushing economic sanctions reimposed after the US abandoned a nuclear pact with Tehran in 2018. Reviving the pact would become almost impossible if Iran were to enter an all-out war with Israel. If it does respond, analysts believe Tehran will likely do so in a way that stops short of sparking a conflict it can't afford.
Well, the Lebanese government is ready to fully implement a United Nations resolution that had aimed to end Hezbollah's armed presence south of the Litani River. This is as part of an agreement to stop war with Israel. Caretaker Prime Minister Najib Mikati said this.
It's the first televised address from Hezbollah after its chief Hassan Nasrallah was killed by Israel. Deputy leader Naim Qassem spoke from an undisclosed location as he announced the group is ready for whatever comes next, adding a new leader would soon be picked.
We are ready for any scenario. If Israel decides to launch a ground invasion, our forces, the forces of the resistance, will be ready on the ground. We will choose a Secretary General of the party shortly, and in accordance with the structures of the organization.
The comments from Hezbollah come as the group received a series of successive setbacks in under 2 weeks. On Monday, Israel continued its offensive in Lebanon with an apartment building struck in central Beirut. The government, meanwhile, says it's ready to implement a UN Security Council resolution and deploy Lebanese troops to the south.
We as Lebanon are ready to implement the 1701 ceasefire and develop it. We as Lebanon are ready to send the Lebanese army to the Sheba area, to the area south of the Litani, and for the Lebanese army to carry out its duties in full coordination with the international peacekeeping forces in the south.
Lebanese officials are hoping to avoid war breaking out as Hezbollah says it's ready for a fight in the aftermath of Nasrallah's killing. The latest effort from Beirut to calm tensions come as Israel's defense minister suggests a ground offensive in Lebanon is next.
Around 1 million Lebanese have been displaced by Israeli attacks, including hundreds of thousands since yesterday. Nasser Yassin, the minister coordinating the government's crisis response.
The sheer number of displaced is staggering. In a nation of nearly 6 million, the Lebanese prime minister said that Israeli strikes on Lebanon may have forced 1 million people to flee. Whether they've gone north to Beirut, east to Syria, or southeast to Jordan, officials say hundreds of thousands have had to evacuate their homes at the drop of a hat. Many count their blessings to be alive.
There were a lot of strikes in the area where we live, so we had no choice but to move. The road to come here was very difficult. They were striking cars. It was by the mercy of God that we made it. We came without knowing where we were going.
Inside on Lebanon, families did the best they could, eking out a bit of shade and setting up makeshift beds in a parking lot. Schools have been transformed into makeshift points of refuge. Food distribution areas have been set up. The Lebanese government says some 250,000 people are now in shelters. 4 times that are elsewhere. Some have been welcomed by strangers, fellow citizens who in solidarity have opened up their extra rooms.
Every day when I pass by, I knock on their door to check up on them and see what they need. I feel the fear and anxiety in their eyes. They're always afraid of getting hurt. That's because of what they went through, what they witnessed.
Already prior to this war, Lebanon was home to the largest number of refugees per capita and per square meter in the world, with around 1.5 million Syrian refugees. This, in conjunction with Lebanon's economic crisis, means that now that Israeli bombs are raining down, an already difficult situation has become all the more desperate.
Austria entered uncharted territory on Monday after the far right scored a historic national election win, with parties facing an uphill task to form a new government.
Some branding anti-Nazi banners, dozens of protesters gathered outside the Vienna Parliament building after Sunday's general election, which saw the far-right Freedom Party secure an unprecedented victory.
That means social cuts for Austria. That means lower salaries. That means a catastrophe, especially for migrants and for the women who are demonstrating in favor of abortion again. We started demonstrating 40 years ago, and I can't do it anymore.
It is definitely a shift to the right in Austria and throughout Europe, and that we are losing our free country and our free life. We want to live a communal life, be united and live peacefully.
Elsewhere in Austria, some have welcomed the FPO's win.
I expected the FPÖ to come first one day, but not today. Yes, it's definitely a good thing.
Austria's Freedom Party has bounced back from the Ibizagate scandal in 2019 that saw the then Vice-Chancellor and Freedom Party leader, Heinz-Christian Strache, resign. Taking the reins of the party in 2021, Herbert Kickl has tapped into concerns about immigration in Austria and has capitalised on anger at the government's response to the COVID pandemic. His party is critical of Islam and it's pushing for tougher laws on asylum seekers. Kickl is also against giving aid to Ukraine. He wants sanctions against Russia to be lifted, arguing that they harm Austria more than Moscow. Only the conservative Austrian People's Party, the OVP, has offered any suggestion it could work with the FPO, but has insisted it is unwilling to do so with Kickl. If Kickl fails to ally with another party, this could end the FPO's aspirations to govern and enable a coalition of more moderate parties.
Over in the United States, with Pennsylvania set to be one of the major battleground states in the U.S. presidential election, its large Polish community are finding themselves at the center of a political tug-of-war, with both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris pitching for their votes in recent weeks.
Trump actually kind of did a good job when he was a president.
You vote for Trump. Trump signs the deal with Putin. He said, before I'm president, I'm going to stop the war. How's he going to stop the war? He's going to shake hands and say, okay, Mr. Putin, do what you want to do.
There's a lot of Polish people supported Trump previously, and they're going to continue to support Trump in the future. And I don't think many Poles believe that Trump will abandon Ukraine.
I do remember the old times in Poland when I grew up and the communist government was ruling our lives. We don't want this in Pennsylvania. We don't want this in America. That's why, as a Polish American citizen, I am voting for Trump.
Right now, sports news. In the not so surprising news, our under-20 national team has crashed out of this year's under-20 COSAFA tournament, currently taking place in Mozambique. Eswatini was in Group A alongside Zimbabwe, Mozambique and Botswana.
The under-20 national team have crashed out of the under-20 COSAFA tournament currently undergoing in Mozambique. Eswatini was in Group A alongside host nation Mozambique that they managed to beat 5-4. Zimbabwe that they managed to get a defeat against, which was 3-0, and Botswana, who they played a goalless draw in their last fixture of the group. In the last game against Botswana, there were chances to book a place into the semi-finals in the latter stage of the game, with Eswatini being awarded a penalty which they failed to score, with the game ending on a goalless draw.
Rooney misses! Big save, Frank Silek, the ball still alive on the follow-up, and then they missed still. Tommy Sizwane, unbelievable. They had a chance to secure the spot in the semis.
It was a difficult one, a very difficult one. When you play opponents that know you, you know them. So it was a difficult match. That is why it is 0-0.
The draw meant that only Botswana and Zimbabwe will progress to the semi-finals of the competition. Reaching the finals of the tournament, we guarantee one of the team a place into next year's Africa Cup of Nations under-20. For Eswatini TV Sports, Fabisum Sunera. Visuals taken from COSAFA.
International Boxing Federation board member Pearl Dlamini says the boxing governing mother body has started rolling out packages that are going to assist African countries with boxing development programs, where Eswatini also is set to benefit.
Ngikhumbula ukuthi kulamalanga president wesibhakela emhlabeni wakhipha iprogram yokuthi ufuna ukusupporta ikakhulu lamavela ngathi aswele lafaka ekhathi thina base-Afrika ukhiphile ke imali etinganga 20 million emalangeni.
According to Pearl Dlamini, who's an International Boxing Federation member, the World Governing Board of Boxing has started different programs of supporting African countries who are less developed and support them financially. This opportunity will also be able to benefit the Kingdom of Eswatini. Dlamini says the future of the governing board is to see boxers reaching to the professional stage, with boxers making a living.
Thoba kunemidlalo lokhona kwema youth championships ewenda ke eBudva Montenegro and uthi tota abafanda lapho ke ukuthi accommodation yonke abadlali besibhakela lo tota nje yatodlala itaba mahali taba kuphisa imindeni yabo leti inhlalo dabo make esibhakela ndisemva cishe ngathi mhlaba wonke but singi.
On the other hand, women boxing is being looked at. Dlamini believes Eswatini is amongst the most talented nations in the boxing industry, with women boxing being on the rise in the region. This is well judged in the recent performance in region competitions.
Ambassador baqhamuka in each of lama continents ngokuthi bakhona ukuthi ba encourage the young girls.
Right, that marks the end of our English news on this Kusile Breakfast Show. We'll go for a net break. We'll be back shortly.
a show where we interview inspirational young professionals who are making a real impact in their industries and reshaping our world. This is Young Climber.
My dream and my mission is to be a tangible example of a dream realized. You don't choose where you are born, of course, but you decide where you end up.
Our conversations spark ideas, fuel ambition, and elevate your career path. These are the stories that change your perspective on life, conversations that shape entrepreneurs and move careers forward. If you are serious about your career development, you can't afford to miss this show. Join me, Tabelo Dlamini, every Tuesday at 6:30 for Young Climber, where every episode could be your next big breakthrough.
As the saying goes, education is the key to unlock the golden door of freedom. Great news for the learners. Eswatini TV brings back the home learning with a wide range of subjects for the grade 7s, Form 3s and Form 5s from the safety of their home.
Change in speed and there's no change in wavelength, meaning that the wavelength of the incident wavefronts.
Watch home learning every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. only on Eswatini TV. Sibuko semaswati.
Kude lesinye isikhathi ngaphandle kwalesi.
Aba research bafunze.
Being risky means ukuthi nalokuwa kwayo kulula.
Nathi kufuna sente ukukhicita lokhu sekungeni.
Sabatandi ukuthi njengalokhu
sivile sive sikhulume.
Asimthe sinimukele sikuvusele nawo losanza kusivulela. It is the 1st of October. Mhlaba wonke ke ukuba i-Breast Cancer Awareness Month inyanga ke lena lapho khona sanzisa lwati ngaso sifo samdlavuza wemabele. The Ministry of Health Cancer Unit recorded 577 cases of cancer between January 2023 and June 2023. 33 of those were cancers of the breast. Kanti ke ngeminyaka 2022 the Ministry of Health established an oncology unit in Manzini through support from the BMSF. This came as a relief to cancer patients as services became available in the country. This also enabled patients to receive not only medical support but also the support from their family members. I'm joined by the cancer epidemiologist Kona Cancer Unit, who is also the manager of Cancer Unit, Kusile. A very good morning and welcome to the program. It's a beautiful month indeed. We're commemorating or raising awareness on breast cancer. What is the status on breast cancer in Eswatini, when you look at the prevalence of cases?
No, thank you so much. I appreciate kakhulu kuba kulo msakade nakulesikhathi siqalisa khona inyanga lenkulu, one of the biggest month in terms of awareness about cancer. So breast cancer it's one of the top 2 in terms of cancers generally nasibuka ama-cancers number 3
Ngingasenje for the interruption Nkosi sidawucela nje kuthatha likhefu lelifishane sabuya khona manje.
Kude lesinye isikhathi ngaphandle kwalesi.
Aba research bafunde.
Being risky means ukuthi nalokuwa kwayo kulula.
Nathi kufuna sele ukukhicita lokusembili.
Hey you! Yes, you. Have you paid your TV license?
Did you know that by paying for your TV license fees, you will be complying with the laws that govern television possession, and particularly the Swaziland Television Authority Act of 1983 and its regulations? It is a legal obligation.
Paying for your TV license can have a positive spin-off, as the money collected from TV license fees goes a long way in assisting Eswatini Television Authority procure appealing and relevant content to broadcast on the channel.
So now, these fees also increase purchasing of local content from independent producers, which helps ensure that the arts and film industry in the country is well supported thus far, ensures the creation of jobs for eMaswati. The payment of TV license fees goes a really long way in such endeavors as well as nation building.
A TV license costs 180 emalangeni per year per device, and for other accessories such as a decoder or njinja, it costs 50 emalangeni per device per year.
By paying for your TV license,
you will be doing the right thing.
Paying your taxes is a noble act and a statutory requirement. However, the processes and procedures required for you to fulfill your tax obligation may become complex and complicated, resulting in a standoff between the parties concerned. Do you need a mediator to resolve your tax issues? The Revenue Appeals Tribunal Eswatini is a government entity established under the Ministry of Finance with the intention to help resolve tax disputes in the country. Join myself, John Perez, on Mbiliganyiganya every Sunday at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. from the 4th of August to the 27th of October 2024. You can also watch us on our YouTube channel at Eswatini TV.
Asimze sinemukele siyakuvuselana losanza kusivulela sanzisa lwati njengoba kungiyo inyanga yakwanzisa lwati ngamdlavuza wemabele i-breast cancer awareness month. We are joined by cancer epidemiologist Kusile basachaza nje ukuthi engabe thina silivele Eswatini simephi nasibuka tindzaba breast cancer. Dokumela ukuthi in 2022 kwaestablishwa i-oncology unit in Manzini, and it has eased the burden on Babani Government Hospital, which was the only center that provided chemotherapy services. Basachaza Nkosi ukuthi simephi ne-breast cancer in the country nasibuka nje cases.
Okay, siyabonga kakhulu, ngibonga kakhulu kwemsakade phindze nako so sivele silalele. In terms of breast cancer Eswatini, ngicabanga ukuthi generally nje nangibuka the top 5 of cancers kuwo wonke umuntu lomdzala lomncane longibabe longimake i-breast cancer number 3 ilandzela i-prostate cancer ne-cervical cancer. Then ke nasesibuka ke ngama cancer ebantu besifazane number 2 lokusho ukuthi silidwa ngile cervical cancer then bese kuba ngile breast cancer. And lokho ke into le entekile nasibuka nje statistics sethu kusukela ku-2016 up to now solo siyabona lokho ukuthi le breast cancer iba number 2. And what we have noted ukuthi njalo ngeminyaka at least about 100 cases of bomake labayatholakala abanalo umdlavuza welibele lokwenta ukuthi kungasibeki kahle even lokho ukuthi thina indzaba ye-breast iyakhona iyachubeka njalo asisangakaboni lamathuba la yehla khona but iyachubeka nawe again.
Njengoba uvedile Nkosi ukuthi vele breast cancer nayo iku-top 5 yama-cancers la solo nje ayingoti. Ingabe kahle what is the survival rate?
Okay, generally ngicabanga ukuthi siyibuka kwanyalo sibuka ngokuthi kulaba labo high income countries i-survival rate yakhona it's about 90%, but kithi African, especially the southern part, it's 40%. Umbuto lo ngasibuta ngawo ukuthi why kithi ibe incane i-survival rate. I think it's a challenge for the dining lokufaka ekhathi lokho ukuthi bomake bayaphuta mhlambe kuye ukuhlolisa nomdlavuza mlomo sibelethe welibele. At the same time futhi noma ngabe soyile ukhanza ukuthi naso uthola sewusesigabeni lesimatima kakhulu lokwenda ukuthi sekubita i-treatment leningi kanti futhi lengasakhoni kahle hle kumsita naye as an individual. Le mhlambe lesikukhutsatako njalo ukuthi asiyeni emtholampilo noma nawe futhi ekhaya utihlole ngoba na utihlolile wathola lesigadla sesesincane kuyakhonakala ukuthi singakhishwa laba survivile nje ngilaba khona ukuthi bafike le stage sabo seku stage 1 noma sigadla sesesincane siselabeleni kuphela lokwenda ukuthi siyakhona ukuthi sikhatheke bese uthola lo treatment akhona make ukuthi achubeka aphile.
Ingabe nasosiva nje lesigadla kusuke lapho lo mdlavuza sohambe kanganani uyawabona ima symptoms prior to lesigadla nale pain ebakhona la ibeleni?
Yes. Now siva lesigadla noma wabona lama symptoms angeke ukhone ukusho ukuthi le cancer ihambe kangakanani ngaphandle ukuthi vele sikukhutsate ukuthi uye emtholampilo especially esibhedlela lesikhulu abantu abese bayakubhobhola khona. Nangabe sithi le cancer isengakahambi sisho ukuthi lesigadla sisekhona labeleni sisengakathinthani naletinye ema-organs emtimba lokusho ukuthi asikahambisa mhlambe ekhwapheni noma asikathinthani nemaphapho lengekhathi noma asikathinthani namakhelwane walenye libele sesithi-ke lapho isengakahambi isesekhona la kuleli bele lokwenta ukuthi nakafika dokotela nawufika lesigadla leso angasikhipha sona noma sikhathi esiningi sesikhuthade ukuthi sikhiphe lelo bele lonke bese uyashiswa ke lokushisa sendela ukuthi nangabe bese kunale imithelela around lelibele ikhona lokuthi nayo ishe ingabese itikhanza seyiphindze ibangilenye icancer lechubekako.
Okay, so ungibani nje Nkosi mhlambe lesingathi usengotini kakhulu iyakubuka yini breast cancer ukuthi okay una 13 una 10 una 50 years, which age group nje is mostly affected noma is highly ukuthi athole inangi breast cancer?
Yes, ngikunothile nasibuka le statistics sethu labaningi labatholakala nje kakhulu ngilaba kusukela ku-25 weminyaka kuya ku-49 khona sithole abantu labangangabo 116 laba selo saqala nje ukuba nayo labana le cancer then labalandzele kakhulu from leyo age leyo ngilokusukela ku-40 to 59 lapho sikhanze ukuthi abantu bang 167 labatholakele lokho ukuthi kahle kukulabo make noma kulabo bantu besifazane laba semathubeni ekukhicita noma ekuba nebantwana ngilolo sibonelo ngathi kuyanza kakhulu then ke lokho bese kuba buhlungu kakhulu ngaloko ukuthi labo bantu labo sibheke ukuthi ngabe bayakhicita banzise umnetho banzise nekutala nekumunyisa abantwana babo but ukhanzakala ukuthi akukhonakali ngaleyo ndlela leyo.
Yeah, siyadinga njengoba usho nje ukuthi vele i-cancer ivame kakhulu kubomake but sekuyabonakala nabo babe nabo bayitfola because vele no one is safe njengoba ucetha kusho. How common is breast cancer amongst male lapha eSwatini? Do we actually have male survivors of breast cancer?
Yes, we have, but again, so far sina less than 5 of them labatholakele bakhona ukuthi balapheka kanti labanye futhi abakakhona iblapheka basishiya emhlabeni. Lokho sho ukuthi nabo banawo lamathuba lawo ngoba sikhuluma ngema-hormones labo labakhona lo cancer kuthi angaka-affect aphinde sikhuluma ukuthi nangabe le emlandweni wasekhaya ikhona leyo cancer ngaba yelibele ngaba ye-prostate kukhanza ukuthi lawo mathuba lawo bantwana bakulelo khaya ama-chances aba nglasetulu kakhulu ukuthi bangadikhanza banalo breast cancer.
Ngifuna singene nje kulama symptoms ngikhosi ingabe lesigadla uyasiva yini nje na utihlalele endlini noma usebenza noma kuvele kudinga ukuthi uzowendele self examination kude utosiva ngapha ama symptoms vele singathi sikumele ukuthi siwacaphele.
Okay, siyabonga kakhulu. Mhlambe kungaba ukuthi sikhuthade ukuthi make njalo nakabuya esikhathini atihlole yena vele angeke uweve like ngivungathi nesigadla but ubita ukuthi ulithinthe lelibele lakho lokusho ukuthi siyesikhuthade ukuthi make akabe ngumuntu lo wadiko emabelo akhe ukuthi eme kanjani njalo nje emva kwesikhathi ume emembo kwesibuka awabuke lamabele ukuthi anjani nangabe lesikhumba sisalelo belele sesenta ngathi siyashintsha sinda kuba kumanye ngathi siyamanya ungakasicubisi futhi le skin ukhanze ungathi li orange sinetimbobanyanyana njengesikhumba sel orange lokho ungabona ukuthi kunenkinga lobuhlungu akusiso sonke isikhathi la stabuva khona ukhanze ukuthi sicala ngale timphato ukuthi ubone lo shintsho ungakabuva lobuhlungu labanye ke bangaba nabo lobuhlungu but isikhathi esiningi nasekunalobuhlungu suke lesigadla sesihambile mhlambe sesithinthe nemizwa lengabe seibanga ukuthi ube nayo nalobo buhlungu so sesithi ke lo make akaye lesibukweni atibuke abese uyalithinta lebele lakhe nakalithinta eve kunesigadla lo make lona akusima ke lo munyisa ukuthi utathi mhlawumbe uvungathi kugcine libisi but eva ngathi kunesigadla sithi ungadicabangeli wedvana hamba eclinic noma esibhedlela uyokhona ukuthola usizo ukuthi bakucabangisise labonesi bakupopolisise or else futhi bese ba-engage dokotela nemishini leminye lengakupopolisa lokho kuyasida kakhulu lokho ukuthi vele kube into lesiphuthumako ngaso sonke isikhathi singayidelay ngoba the early detection ngiyole senta ukuthi bantu bethu basurvive for long. We have people labanabo 20 years 25 years batholakala banalo cancer bajoba lelo bele but they are surviving up to now.
Okay. So ngifuna sibuke kakhulu nje my achievements elive in the fight against actually all cancers but nje namba funa sibuke le breast cancer vela yes kuwakhiwa kwale oncology unit in Manzini sadlokthi vele naloko kwasida ukuthi kwehlisele uhulumende omthwalo ngoba ama patients bavame khamba naphalala South Africa for treatment ngabe lokuba khona nje kwale unit kaManzini sekunsita kanganani nani live ukuthi ama services sekakhona lapho dala.
Okay. Siyabonga kakhulu. I think lokusisite kakhulu lokuthi sibe nalomtholampilo. Kakhulu maybe angicala ngokuthi la prevention before siye ku treatment. La prevention kusisitile ukuthi lenzaba ye cancer ye breast cancer ayikabi ye ministry yodwana but kude ema NGOs kweta tinkampane kweta ema ministries adothi singenda njani kuze sinciphise lenzaba ye breast cancer emisebenzini yethu ku community lasikhona khona so ngifuna lokusho ukuthi kube inzaba yethu sonke mbamba yokuthi nalongekho kuhulumende nalongekho ka health wayithatha wayisukumela sikhuluma nje nyalo etinkampaneni kuplaniwe kuma organizations sina Eswatini breast and cervical cancer lesisita kakhulu la ka breast nako kuplaniwe lokuthi kutawende wani kuvikeleka ukuthi kuze kukhulunyiswe lenzaba ye breast phinze kuvikeleke so lapho ke ka prevention lokwenda ukuthi now we seeing a lot of women coming as early as possible but okhona kupopola lokuyintwe lenhle kakhulu leyo then sekapotsholiwe lesikubonile lasasendele kona uhulumende ngiloko ukuthi nathi khona lambabane sesiyakhona lokuthi nangabe kukhonakele kwatholakala kunaleso sigaba dokotela we surgical sesinema surgeons la khona ukuthi lo muntu amsikele libele cala bese yakuma private hulumende ngathrophala la sisi ngama private clinics but nyalo nathi siyakwenda ka hulumende ukuthi lo makelo asikwele libele athole lo treatment after that. Then go on top of that kunayo futhi le machine again lesikhuluma about CT scan labakhona ukuthi bese basi popolela lo make ukuchecka ukuthi nako lokho uhulumende la sakungetile esidwende abantu labaphila ngecancer especially leyo breast cancer nasifuna ukupopola. Then ke lapho ngikhuluma ukuthi sesiyakhona ukudiagnose nathi in the country sithole ama results khona la even as early as possible. Then nanka ke ma results alomuntu lana sekaphumile a positive ngila khona ke sithi simbonga kakhulu uhulumende kusengetela lesibhedlela sakaManzini because cala bokuthi nje nakuthiwa une cancer kufanele uthole treatment either yecleanwa angeke kube uhulumende nasekufanele ukuthi kube chemotherapy la kufanele unathe amaphilisi uthole amaphilisi noma imijovo nakhona bese kumixa eSouth Africa but now sesikwenda la khaya so kunye lokusesele lokusasenda ukuthi mhlambe sichubeke simcele uhulumende noma phala la ukuthi imali ibe khona ngiloko ukuthi icancer silapha ngetigaba letintathu ngilokujuba lelibele ngile chemo lesithola yonke in the country embabane nakaManzini then ke bese kuba ngile radiotherapy la khona ke sekufanele ukuthi kube nalokushisa ke lo ngaba mithelela around the belly lokho ke ngikona sakuthola eSouth Africa but lokuhle kakhulu lothulumende so wendile budlelwane ne organization IA letawuta in the country isisite ukuthi sitiqalisele yethu iradiotherapy lokusho ukuthi now we are looking at 3 to 4 years ukuthi study cancer nathi sesinayo iradiotherapy in the country ukuthi everything will be done in the country lokuthi nje kunemali la ibekile aside ezengikhuluma uhulumende yalo radiotherapy those are good news and ngiyasikhuthatalisa and lastly la kwenda kufuthi uhulumende so sicalile ukustrainela bonesi bodokotela lokuthi bete batokhona ukuthi nase seyikhona le radiotherapy babe bona already bacala nje as early as possible next day baya esikolweni ezibaya lesikolweni uhulumende ngala nokucala lokwakha by the time babuya esikolweni batawukhanza kune center batawukhona ukuthi bese bachubeka bayasebenza so dinfo letiseplanini la uhulumende letinye tisaphatheka letinye tisesifiso sethu ukuthi kugcine kwendekile.
Okay, kwegcina nje Nkosi 30 seconds ngiyathi kusasa Minister Utabayi I launch breast cancer awareness month officially ngabe ngimaphi nje ama campaigns linabe niwenda as the Minister of Health the whole month.
Okay, thank you so much. Kusasa kungaba kushovela ukuthi in fact namuhla nje namhla it's breast cancer was expecting nemsakado wami ukuthi afake lokupinkanyana but nje was saying it's a breast cancer month sayicalisa then kusasa iyayilauncha iministry takhona kulauncha with the support lesithola koka Eswatini breast and cervical cancer BCCN mhlambe simedayile kakhulu so kutabe kulonjwa leyo ke and then so many appointments la cediwe ma companies ma organization ukuthi siyobafundzisa ministries bothishela ukuthi sihambe siyobafundzisa phinze siba screen so lesikujabulelako ngiloko ukuthi cishe every day sizabe sikhulumisa indzaba ye breast cancer futhi ayikhulunyiswe embabane kuphela but kuma clinics lela sikhona wemiphakathini nakuma clinics la khona kuma regions ethu iyakhulunyiswa nasetinkapaneni so bengathi nje wonke umuntu akatihluphe ukuthi uhamba uyopopola uhamba nasiswakho uhamba namakwakho referring to you uhamba nabangani bakho nihambe nje niyopopola kube one of the things lesitendela dona njalo ngenyanga but kulo October ube nesiqiniseko ukuthi uwentile wadipopola.
All right, thanks so much Nkosi. It's 2 minutes before 8 o'clock 1st of October sanzisa lwati nje ngesifo samdlavuza wemabele sithatha salikhefu nasibuya stop esahlelo.
When you choose your adventures, you do so with an open heart and a desire for the unexpected. You embark on journeys to discover new worlds full of wonder. You choose a path to awaken your senses, a world to make you look up and realize just how inspiring this life can be. Arrive and awaken your heart. Explore life in ways only thought possible in your dreams. Discover just how far you'll go to expand your understanding of life's greatest mysteries. There's just one place on this planet with so much to offer. Now is the time for you to have the royal experience in the kingdom.
Asevele insimbi esiphohlongo lomuhla sesifika emaphethini nehlelo lwethu lomhla. Thank you for joining us lomhla ekseni. We will see you tomorrow. Have a lovely day.